Welcome. This is Gentle Yoga Flow, Yin Yoga. Today, we will start with 2 blocks, also a bolster or a pillow as I'm using. And for some moves, if you'd like, you can also grab a strap. If you don't have one, I'm using just a double loop band. You can use a single loop band. I also have these bands that I will attach to like a door frame and use them to like pull and stuff. You can use that. They're just single looped. So just 2 blocks, book, small pillows, a bolster or pillow, and then a strap or a band. We're going to find ourselves, same way we set up last week, making a T out of our blocks. One block setting up nice and tall at the end, another block either medium height or low height, making it into that T position, and then just gently setting your bolster on top of that, and then as you will, just go ahead and laying back on top of that. So just setting that up there, and then placing, your blocks can touch or they can be a little bit separate, and then placing your pillow or your bolster on top, and just laying back, butterflying your feet, so bringing your soles to touch, and butterflying your legs open. Your knees do not have to be pressed towards the floor, just resting your entire body into the floor, into the mat, into those blocks and bolsters. You can bring your arms down by your side, palms facing up. Maybe close your eyes, find your focus here. Focusing here on your breath. Deep inhale, deep exhale. Inhaling all the way up, filling your lungs all the way to the top. Hold it for a breath. Deep exhale all the way out through the mouth. Inhale. Hold it for a breath. And exhale everything out. You letting your knees fall open a little bit more with each exhale. Inhale to fill to the top. Exhale all the way out. Keep that going. Deep inhale. When you get to the top, hold it. Seal your lips. Exhale through your nose. Keeping that breath going. Inhaling in and out through your nose. Give me one more breath just like that. And then placing one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. You find the word to focus for today's class. Anything that resonates with you this morning, of the week. Find that word. At any point during the class, if your mind begins to wander, just come back to that word. Come back to that focus. One more deep inhale here. And exhale. Gently plant your hands down to the floor. Press yourself up. And we're going to rearrange our blocks underneath our pillow or bolster. So send your blocks long ways to make an I on their lowest setting, just on top of one another on your mat. And then placing your bolster on top. Of course, if this is too high, you can always remove the blocks or just on the bolster or the pillow. You can also remove any of the props and just come into a child's pose. So we're going to press ourselves up towards the block or the bolster, You can also press it further away. Your toes are to touch. Your knees are to fall open. And then just bringing your forehead down towards the bolster. You can also rest your left or right ear on the bolster. You can extend your arms out long in front. You can also bring your hands, palms facing up, down by your sides. Actively letting your hips rest towards your heels. Chin, left or right ear on the pillow. Keeping with that same breath that you just started with. If at any point in the class there is a move that you just don't want to do, maybe you want to come back to child's pose, go ahead and find your position back here at any point in the class. You have one ear on the pillow, go ahead and come to the other side. Maybe changing the hands on this side. Taking those breaths, deep inhales, deep exhales. Rounding your rise on up. Keep the bolster and the blocks just where they're at. We're going to draw our left hip down beneath the bolster and the blocks, and then stack your knees. And we're going to come down to a fetal position, laying our left ear, left cheek on the bolster. You can stack your knees and your feet. You can stagger them. You can also bring the top one on top. Feel free to adjust that bolster under your rib cage, however it feels comfortable for you. One more breath here. And if you would like, you can rotate, bringing your right ear towards the bolster. Just resting your right ear or your right cheek on the bolster. You can also just face forward if it's too deep of a twist. Listen to your body this morning. On your next exhale, gently press yourself up, just coming to the other side. So this time bringing your right hip beneath the bolster and the blocks, stacking your knees and releasing your right rib cage and your right ear on that bolster. Hands can be extended out long. You can also just tuck your elbows in. Your knees can be stacked. You can also stagger your knees. And just resting your rib cage and your right ear or your right cheek on the bolster. And if you'd like a deeper stretch, gently rotate to bring your left cheek, your left ear on that bolster. Your knees are still facing towards the left. You can also just place your chin on the bolster Bringing your gaze forward. You can probably hear my cat eating her breakfast. Sorry for crunching. All right, on your next exhale, come on up. From here, we're going to set the bolster off to the side. Cross with the blocks off out in front. We're going to lay all the way down onto our tummy. Nice and gently. Go ahead and bring your elbows out, palms on top of each other, and then bring your forehead down onto your palms, just resting your neck, feeling that length of your spine. From here, drawing your right knee up towards your right elbow. You can draw it to hip height, maybe lower, maybe higher. You can point or flex your right toes. You can also just relax your toes. That left leg is completely relaxed. And back to your breath here. Maybe close your eyes. And then gently releasing the right knee back down. Relax your right toe, then you roll from side to side on the top shoelace portion of your right foot. Relaxing that right leg. Draw your left knee up towards your left elbow. Your force does not have to touch. Open up that left hip on the side. Your forehead remains on your palms, lengthening your spine. Keep coming back to that word, finding your breath. And then gently releasing the left leg back to meet the right. And you rolling the left leg side to side. From here, gently come up. Come on up. We're going to grab 1 or 2 blocks and we're going to come to a kneeling stance. So you can place the blocks between your feet and just having a seat on those blocks, whatever height you'd like. 2 blocks, 1 block, no blocks, whatever works for you. Adjusting your height as you need to. You can also bring your knees wider if you would like. And just having a seat here, hands come down by your sides. From here, bring your hands to the tops of your knees, round your spine, coming into cat, gazing down towards your navel. Draw your hands towards your hips, rounding, arching your spine, coming into cow. Exhale, round your spine, hands to your knees. And then arching your spine, gazes up. 1 more here, hands towards your knees. Round your spine. And then hands to your thighs. From here, go ahead and keep your gaze forward, bring it back down. So you can release 1 block here. Bring your hands out by your sides, bring your arms up high overhead. From here, palms facing forward, cactus your arms, lift your gaze, release, spread your fingertips wide. Gaze comes forward, arms are up. Draw your elbows down, gaze is lifted. Gaze comes forward, palms reach up. 2 more times, elbows draw down. And bring your gaze forward, arms are up once more. Really hold the elbows down, keep your gaze lifted. Hold it here for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and release. Release your hands down by your side. Bring your right hand down to the floor. You can also place your right hand on a block if you'd like, or that bolster, using 2 blocks under your hips. Put your left arm high towards the ceiling, bicep to your ear, and switching sides, left arm down, right arm comes up high, right bicep to right ear. Draw your right hand back down to the floor or a block, left arm comes up high overhead. Please spread your fingertips wide, bend your elbow, drawing your elbow down. Spread your left hand down, right arm comes up high overhead, left hand to the floor or a block. Right bicep to right ear, bend your elbows, spread your fingertips wide, and extend. Right hand down to the floor or a block, left arm comes up high overhead. Bend your elbow, extend. This time we're going to rotate our body towards our right hand, bringing your left pinky towards your right thumb. They do not have to touch. Keep that length in your spine and in your left hand. Draw it around, semicircle over to the left side, and bring your left hand to the floor or a block. Right arm comes up high overhead, right bicep to right ear. Bend your elbow, spread your fingertips nice and wide. Extend, rotate your body toward your left palm, right pinky toward your left thumb. They do not have to touch. Hold that length in your spine in your right hand and draw that right arm around in front. One more time, throw it each side, right hand down, left arm comes up high overhead. Bend your elbow, cactus your arm. Extend, rotate, left pinky to right thumb. Draw it around in front. Left hand down, right bicep to right ear. Bend your elbow. Extend, rotate your body, right pinky to left thumb. Draw it out in front. Bring both hands to the side, right arms up high overhead. From here, we're going to bring our right hand to our left knee. Left arm comes behind you. And just gazing, looking over your left shoulder. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist deeper. Looking further. Draw your arms up high, come back to center. Left hand to your right knee. Right arm comes behind. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist deeper. Come back to center. Draw your arms up high overhead. Draw your hands to heart. From here, you can keep your blocks just where they're at. We're going to find Malasana. So, walking onto your toes. Again, you can keep your blocks and you can sit on your blocks. You can walk your feet out wider if you like, bringing your hands to heart center and just resting your elbows on your knees. You can also bring your hands down to the floor or a block. You can release one or both blocks. Bring your hands to heart center. Again, you can place your hands on blocks if that's more comfortable. Hold it here for 3, 2, and 1. Gently come forward, finding your tabletop position, gently releasing your knees down. Your blocks are out in front of you. Wrists directly under your shoulders, knees are under your hips. From here, we're going to turn our palms, fingertips facing outward, and just rock side to side. Stretching the wrist, stretching the forearm. Come back to center. Gently rotate your fingertips towards your knees. They can also be at a 45-degree angle. Whatever angle you're at with your fingertips facing towards your knees, gently rock forward and backwards. You can also just hold it in tabletop if that is a good stretch for you. Go ahead and stack your knees directly back over your hips. Bring your fingertips facing the same direction that you are looking. Flip your right palm over so your right palm is lifted up towards the sky. And then just rocking forwards and backwards, same motions. The depth that you rock forwards and backwards is totally up to you. Maybe it's different on one wrist than the other. And then come back towards the center. Bring your right palm down, flip your left palm over, left palm facing up towards the sky. And same thing, just rocking forwards and backwards. Come back to center, flip your left palm over, and from here, tuck your toes, and make your belly down, lift your gaze, coming into cow. Inhale. Exhale as you untuck your toes, scoop and arch, rounding your spine, bringing your gaze towards tops of your thighs. Come through neutral spine, tuck your toes, lift your gaze, hang with your belly down. One more time through. Scoop and arch, exhale as you untuck your toes, rounding your spine. Go ahead and come back to a neutral spine. Nice flat back. From here, just bump your hips side to side. Maybe walking your hands a palm print forward and coming into some barrel rolls, drawing your hips towards your wrists and then your hips down towards your heels. And of course, what you do in one direction, you want to do in the opposite direction as well. Maybe just side to side. Go ahead and finish up where you're at. From here, we're going to lift the right arm high to the ceiling. You can also bring your elbow wide. Draw your elbow down to your left wrist or your right hand under your left arm. You reach it back 2 more times. Tap down or reach through. Once more. Reach all the way down. Hovering your right elbow or your right hand for 3, 2, and 1. Release your right ear or your right cheek to the floor, maybe to a block. Extending that right arm long. You can extend your left arm out in front. You can also bind your left hand around your right waist. You can extend that left leg long, challenging your balance here. Keep your left leg extended, rise up, and then releasing your right hand down. From here, extend your right arm in front, lift your left leg. We're going to draw the knee to the elbow for 4, and extend, and 3, and extend, 2, 1 more. Go ahead and keep that left leg extended, release your right hand down. We're going to bend the left knee and then just drawing some hip circles here on the left side. And then reversing that direction. From here, square out your hips, extend your left leg straight back, and then tuck your left knee in towards your chest. Step it through, coming into low crescent. We're going to hinge forward and back. Keeping your right toes untucked here, just hinging forwards and backwards. All right, from here, we're going to stack the left knee over the left ankle, your right hip over your right knee. Bring your arms up high towards the ceiling. From here, we're going to hinge our hips forward, drawing your arms up and back. You're welcome to hold it here. You can also release your left hand down to the inside of your right thigh or place it onto a block by grabbing it with your left hand. Right arm comes up high. Always an option to also keep both arms up. And then hinging forward, drawing your arms down front, pressing your hips back, flexing your left toes. Rise up. Arms come up high overhead. Press your hips forward, open with that right hip. Option to release your left hand behind your right thigh. One more time through on each. Press your hips back, hips towards your heels. Flex your left toe, straighten the left leg. Rise up. Then release the left hand. Both arms come up. Press your hips back. This time, hold your hands down to the floor or to blocks. And we're just going to point and flex that left leg, left toes. From here, stack your hips. Bring your left knee back over your left ankle, your right knee directly under your right hip. Bring your arms up high overhead. Bring your hands to heart center. Elbows are wide. And then we're going to rotate to the left and then draw our right elbow towards the outside of our left knee. Holding here for 3, 2, and 1. Come back to center. Bring your hands down to the floor, framing your left foot. Extend your left leg back. Find your tabletop, rub your hips side to side. And then drawing your right hand down, left elbow is high. We can also extend your left arm up. Reach your left arm down and under. You can also keep your left elbow towards your right wrist. Draw up and under and through. 2 more. Left elbow, left arm lifts. Tap down or reach through. Once more. Rise up. And then drawing the left arm under and through, holding here for 3, 2, and 1. Release your left hand down. Release your left ear or cheek to the floor, to blocks, maybe to a bolster. You can keep that right hand boxed out in front of you. You can also extend it long. You can bind your right hand around your left waist. You can also extend your right leg long, lengthening everything. From here, keep your right leg extended. Press up onto your right hand. Left elbow or left wrist lifts. Release your left hand down. Bring both hands under your shoulders. We're going to extend our left arm long. Extend your right leg long to a hover. We're going to tuck in, elbow underneath for 4. And extend. 3. And extend. 2 more. Holding that right leg lifted. Release your left hand under your left shoulder. Bend your right knee and draw a few hip circles with your right hip. And then, of course, reversing that direction. From here, go and square out your hips. Extend your right leg straight back. Tuck your knee in towards your chest. And then step your right foot in between your palms. You can always adjust your back knee if you'd like. Untuck your back left toes if they were lifted. From here, just hinging forward and backwards. Hands can be to the floor. They can also be to blocks. From here, press your hips forward, so stacking your right knee on top of your right ankle. Your left knee is stacked underneath your hips. Bring your arms up high overhead, stacking your shoulders over your hips. From here, we're going to press our hips forward. Option to keep your arms up. You can also gaze up. You can release your right hand to the inside of your left thigh, or place that right hand on block. If your right arm is lowered, lifting it back up, releasing your arms down to the floor or to blocks. Flex your right toes. Press your hips towards your heel. Press forward, arms come up high overhead. Option to hold it here. You can come into Exalted Warrior, releasing your right hand to the inside of your left thigh or to a block. Really pressing your hips forward, opening up that left hip. Hinge forward, hands to the floor or to a block. Flex your right toes. Your hips do not have to touch your heels. One more time, do your arms come up. You are welcome to hold it here to release that right hand. Arms come up. And now she joins me. And my dog Lola. Press your hips back. Flex your right toes. From here, go and stack your hips. We're going to place that right knee directly above our right ankle again. Your back left knee is directly under your left hip. Draw your arms up high overhead, shoulders stacked over your hips. Hands to heart center. From here, we're going to gently rotate, we're taking turns with the knee. Rotating your left elbow to your right knee, keeping your hands at heart center. Hold it here for 3, 2, and 1. Come back to center. Release your hands down to the floor. And then releasing your right knee to meet the left. From here, we're going to walk our hands up, palm print forward. For you guys to see. And we're going to release down. So you can also lift your legs coming into high plank or keep your knees down. We're going to draw the elbows in and release it down for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming all the way down to your tummy. Keeping your hand underneath your shoulders. Untuck your toes. Coming up, mini cobra. Releasing down. Give me one more mini cobra. Release down. Keep your right shoulder directly under your right wrist, directly under your right shoulder. Extend your left arm long. Relax your left leg. Lift your right leg high. Draw up and over the outside of your left hip. You can just relax your left ear down. Opening up your right hip, your left shoulder. Extend and lower and lift that right leg if you'd like. For 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and bend that right knee if you extended it. Roll back onto your belly, placing your hands directly under your shoulders. Give me 1 mini cobra. Untuck your toes. Release back down. From here, keeping your left wrist directly under your left shoulder. Extend your right palm directly out from your right shoulder. Relax your right leg. Lift your left leg up and over to the outside of your right hip. And just releasing your right ear cheek to the floor, allowing your left hip and your right shoulder to open up. Here you can also extend that left leg to the ceiling. Would you like to take some lowering lifts? We're going to come down for 3 and lift. That's 2. 1 more. You have that left leg lifted, go ahead and bend it, bring it back down to the outside of your right hip. Come back onto your tummy. Release your wrist directly under your shoulders. Press up, mini cobra. Release down. Walk your hands towards your rib cage and then up into full cobra, gazing up towards the ceiling. Look over your left shoulder, back up, over your right shoulder, back up towards the ceiling. Bring your gaze forward, push yourself back to child's pose. So drawing your hips towards your heels, toes to touch, knees fall open. Coming back to your breath. Maybe rolling your head side to side, your forehead. Maybe bringing your forehead on the block, maybe on the bolster. You can also bend your elbows, bringing your palms to touch. Bring your thumbs to the nape of your neck. And then release your hands down. Come back, find your tabletop position. From here, we're going to extend our right leg long, and then we're going to draw our right knee towards our right wrist, and then releasing your left leg further back behind you, coming into half pigeon. Bring your hands to under your hips, or you can also bring your hands to a block, pressing up, looking up. You can also hinge forward, coming all the way down. You can also come down onto the forearms. If you like a deeper stretch, one that I absolutely love, I like to roll my hips side to side. So if you try to tap your right hip towards the floor, and then rolling your left hip towards the floor, you don't have to touch, but notice that stretch as you roll from one side to the next. You are also always more than welcome to just hold it. And then bringing your hands back under your shoulders. From here, we're going to set our right hip down, and we're going to bend our right knee to 90. I'm going to space you guys so it's easier. So your right knee is at 90, and then draw your left knee up so that your left knee is also at 90. And it's a little bit further back, it's further up. That's perfectly fine. You can bring your hands to heart center or hold them here. We're going to come into a 90-90 stretch. You can also just hold it here. We're going to lift the knees and rotate our body over so that you're facing the opposite direction. And then coming back to the other side. You can also always keep your hands to the floor. And then from here, plant your hands back down. Find your tabletop. And of course, we have the other side. Extend your left leg long. And then bend your knee, drawing your left knee towards your left wrist. And then tucking your right toes and drawing your right leg further back behind you. You can also walk your hands to the center, lifting your gaze up. You can bring your hands to those blocks. Imagine that I have them under my hands, lifting your gaze up, feeling that stretch all along your core. Also walk your hands forward, forearms down. You can also bring your body all the way down, forehead towards the floor or to a block. For a stretch on this side as well. You can roll side to side, bringing that left hip down towards the floor, and then right hip down to the floor. Noticing how one side might be different than the other. Go ahead and come back to center. Place your hands directly under your shoulders. And then drawing your right knee up. So we're going to bend. We're going to bend that left leg to 90. And bending that right leg to 90. You can bring your hands to heart center. Keep them down. We're just going to rotate to the opposite side. So you're bending your knees. Coming to that 90-90 stretch. It's a wonderful hip stretch, hip opener. You're also simultaneously working your core. One more to come back to center. All right, go ahead and plant your hands down. Come back and find your tabletop position. From here, untuck your toes. Grab 1 or 2 blocks. We're going to come into a seated position, easy pose. You can sit on a block if you'd like to open up your hips a little more. And then just bringing your legs to crisscross applesauce. Right over left, left over right. You can always remove that block at any time. Bring your hands to the tops of your thighs, maybe closing your eyes for just a moment. Maybe fluttering your eyes back open, lifting your gaze. You're welcome to hold it here. If you like, you can grab that strap and try cow face arms. So drawing your right elbow up and your palm down, your left palm up. So your hands do not have to touch. And one side might be different than the other. Your knees are still butterflying open. Opening up your shoulders and your chest, staying up nice and tall. You can also always grab that strap to bring them closer. Works if you hold on to it from the top hand first. So hold on. And then just switching sides. Left arm up, left arm bends. I'm definitely less flexible with my left side. And your right hand up. So this is when that strap will come in handy, or tube, band, whatever you have. And just bringing them together. Feeling that stretch. You're still keeping your chest nice and lifted. Your gaze remains forward. From here, go ahead and bring your hands to heart center. And then we're going to go ahead and release that block. We're going to grab the bolster again. Come to a wide straddle. Bring that bolster out in front. You can also place the blocks underneath it if you'd like. We're just going to fold forward, bringing your forehead to the bolster. If you would like to prop that bolster up a little bit taller, and of course your forehead does not have to touch that bolster. You just want to fold over. Nice comfy thing to hold on to as you release your arms out in front. Maybe releasing your forehead down towards that bolster. And of course you can remove any and all these blocks at any point if you'd like. Up, set that bolster off to the side. Set one block off to the side, keeping one with you. Go ahead and find a seat. We're going to roll back. Your knees are bent. Hands by your side. Feet are flat on the floor. Hip width apart and parallel. Roll backward, forward. 3, 2, and 1. Keep your knees bent. Grab one of your blocks. Lift your hips up. Place the block underneath your hips. Hands down by your side. And lift your legs one at a time or both at the same time. Point, flex. Circle out your ankles. Legs up the wall. Gaze remains up towards the ceiling. And then bend your knees, releasing your feet towards the floor. And then extend your legs out long, bringing your heels to touch, toes fall open. You can draw your arms up high overhead. Feeling that stretch. Allowing your hips to open with that block underneath your hips. Go ahead and release your hands back down by your side. Bend your knees. Lift your hips, set the block off to the side. Go ahead and extend your legs out long again. Extend your arms overhead. From here, we're going to walk our right foot over to the right side and then place your left ankle over your right foot and then stretch your arms over to the right side and pull your left wrist with your right hand, coming into a banana shape on the floor. Hold that touch with your hand. Release your left foot to the floor and cross your right ankle over your left ankle. Noticing how the stretch is slightly different all along that left side body. Release your grip of your hands, bringing your hands to center. Release your ankles from being crossed. Walk your feet over to the left side so your back and your hips are glued to the floor. From here, plant your right foot, cross your left ankle over your right. Grab your right wrist with your left hand and pull your arms over to the left side of your body, maybe off your mat. Keep the grasp with your hands, release your left foot, and then cross your right ankle over your left. And that deeper sensation all along the right side body. Uncross your ankles, lock your hands to the center, draw your arms down by your side, tuck your knees into your chest, and then extend your feet up towards the ceiling, grabbing the back side of your thighs or the outside of your feet and rolling side to side in happy baby. You can come into any variation, maybe extending one leg with ninja baby, drawing the sole of the other foot in towards the extended thigh. And of course, what you do on one side, do on the other. Maybe coming into a wide straddle, extending both of your legs long. And bring the soles of the feet to touch. And again, maybe rolling from side to side. Your legs up towards the ceiling, hands down by your side. Slowly releasing your legs towards the floor. You can always have a bend in your knees or release one at a time. Lower back stays engaged, press into the floor. As your heels touch your mat, let your toes fall open, palms facing up, scrunching everything, your toes, your thighs, your glutes, your quads, your wrists, your shoulders. Scrunch everything up and then relax everything. Close your eyes. And maybe wiggle your toes, wiggle your hands. Draw your arms up overhead. And then rotate to the left or right side. Bend your knees in towards your chest, move into a fetal position. Just where you started. From here, pressing yourself up to a seated position. Your hands to heart center. I thank each and every one of you for joining me in your practice today. Hope you have a wonderful day, wonderful weekend. Namaste. Thank you all so much.